According to GAO, Sig Sauer's $169.5 million bid outperformed Glock's $272.2 million bid, which made the Sig Sauer proposal the best value to the government.
All right, y'all, welcome back to Combat Arms channel. Okay, so today we're checking out a video about the U.S. Army and U.S. Marine Corps' newest pistol. So that is the Sig Sauer M17 and M18, which replaced the Beretta M9. Now, there was, of course, a bidding competition, and Sig Sauer ended up winning over Glock and, a couple other options. But I'm really kind of curious as to how the Sig Sauer came out on top, because I have a lot to say about it. Now, I do own an M18. It's pretty solid pistol. It works fine for me. The weird part is this has been much more reliable than the M18s we have in the U.S. Army, which, not too surprising given that it is a government contract and they're trying to push these out. So maybe the quality control slipped a little bit, and I'll kind of talk about that a little bit further. But before we get into the video, one Tigress actually hooked it up with a bunch of these shooting rest bags. So I will be giving away 5 of these. So all you have to do is check out the link in the video description for the giveaway. And then you just have to go and check out One Tigress on Instagram and YouTube. And then check out my channel, because I'll just kind of throw that in there as well. But yeah, I'll be giving away 5 of these. So just check out the link. Super easy to actually enter. And then I will draw those winners and contact y'all via email after. So yeah, pretty cool product. Again, I was kind of opposed to using these for a long time until I realized it's so much more convenient, especially with how they have it set up here with the straps and whatnot. It's so much more convenient as opposed to just, dropping my rifle on a table or really just a stick, which is pretty much what I would always do. So yeah, definitely a cool product. One Tigress, appreciate y'all. So yeah, definitely go and check out the giveaway. You don't really have anything to lose, I guess, except maybe like 30 seconds or something. But yeah, go and check it out. But let's check out this video about the Sig Sauer pistol. You always gotta have a Glock in the mud, huh?
In 2017, the U.S. Army announced that Sig Sauer won its M17 Modular handgun system competition. The handgun has been designated the M17 and M18, and
yeah, so again, this thing replaced the Beretta M9, which it really wasn't necessary, to be honest. I mean, yeah, the Beretta M9 was pretty freaking old, but at the same time, it was a fantastic performer. I mean, they still make the Beretta M9 now, and people are still buying it. Actually, I have one over here too. Berettas are still my favorite pistols by far. They shoot great, and they're simple to use. The annoying thing is with these contracts is they love to go with the lowest bidder, and if you're willing to cut corners, then it's going to be super easy for you. But I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Glocks, but the Glock is a great pistol for military use. I mean, you can't really argue against that. And again, with the P320, the system that this was based off of, I mean, people were dropping it and it was firing, which is a pretty big concern. And that was happening as, all of this is going down. So yeah, it's just a weird option, in my opinion.
Adopted as the military's standard issue sidearm in its full-size and compact configurations. Sig Sauer gets a contract worth
They pay more attention to their grass than they do their firearms.
up to $580 million on January 19th, beating out Glock Incorporated, FN America, and Beretta USA, the makers of the M9 9mm service pistol at the time, and the competition for the Modular Handgun System, or MHS, program. The Army launched its long-awaited XM17 MHS competition in late August 2015 to replace its Cold War-era M9 9mm pistol.
Okay, come on now. Cold War era? I mean, the M4 is also it's way older than the Beretta even is. And that thing is still in service, and it's doing a great job at that. And it's probably going to be sticking around for some time. I mean, I know we're getting a new rifle, but I mean, let's be real. People are going to have the M4 overwhelmingly for a long time still. So, come on now. Don't be talking about its age. Show some respect.
One of the major goals of the effort was to adopt a pistol chambered for a more potent round than the current 9mm. The U.S. military replaced the .45 caliber 1911 pistol with the M9 in 1985 and began using the 9mm NATO round then.
Yeah. Still
Sig
9mm.
touts the P320 model product as modular and adaptable with interchangeable.
Wait, okay, hold on. Wait, what are they saying? It still uses a 9mm.
One of the major goals of the effort was to adopt a pistol chambered for a more potent round than the current 9mm. The U.S. military replaced the .45 caliber 1911 pistol with the M9 in 1985 and began using the 9mm NATO round then.
It still uses 9mm. What do you mean? Okay, yeah, it still uses a 9mm. It's got the same power.
Sig touts the P320 model product as modular and adaptable with interchangeable grips, multiple sizes, and calibers that can be converted between 9mm, 357 Sig, and 40 S&W. From calibers to pistol size to the grip fit best suited for the shooter, the P320 is the most adaptable pistol available today.
Sure, but you have to consider nobody is going to get their pistol set up with a 357 Sig and 40 cal. Also, who wants 40 cal? The heck? Yeah, nobody's going to do that. Just like how they have the ability to mount a red dot sight, there's going to be very, very few users that will actually mount a red dot sight on this thing. Okay, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start talking about some of the issues that I've seen with these pistols. So with this entire backplate rear sights kind of combo, what happens, and this was something that everybody was kind of freaking out about, and they did a whole order to try and grab all these pistols and kind of fix it. But these rear sights were coming loose because they just have a screw kind of coming right here, and it was just coming loose when people were firing, and then the rear sight would basically be falling off. So they had to do a whole work order to actually add some Loctites, which basically keeps it threaded a little bit better, kind of secures that. So that was one thing. I've seen the extractors just fall out randomly. I've seen this screw in the back come loose just from firing, and then again that kind of messes with the extractor and doesn't necessarily secure everything in the slide as it should. I've seen the striker or the firing pin get gummed up for whatever reason. The loaded chamber indicators on the top, which basically help you to determine if there's a round in the chamber, those will get gummed up with carbon, and that basically kind of defeats the purpose. And it just has a really weird quirk to where if you put the slide on, and I'll actually show you this, but yeah, so you lock the slide back, you flip the disassembly lever down, and then you take the slide off. If you put the slide on and then just hold it back and then flip that lever up, then you won't be able to insert the magazine. So what you actually need to do is, when you're putting it back on, you need to lock it to the rear and then flip the lever, and then you can put the magazine in. It's just such a random little thing. I don't know exactly what the purpose of that is, but that's something that a lot of people, they just won't have the time, or they just won't look at the technical manual, and that just messes a lot of people up. It's just a really weird quirk, and there's a lot of them with this pistol, unfortunately. Anyway, back to the video.
Company says in promotional materials. Previously, the Army down-selected 2 finalists for the competition, Sig and Glock, which had submitted their Glock 17 and Glock 19 models for consideration. Given the size of the contract, Glock is widely expected to protest the decision.
Glocks are great.
Communications manager for Glock, said at the time that she had not been briefed on the contract award, but wished the winners well.
No kidding. Wow.
Glock, which had an entry that stayed into the final round of the U.S. Army's modular handgun system competition, was judged to be only a step behind Sig Sauer by the U.S. Army. That is a recent development. Since Glock entered the marketplace in 1982, handgun makers have been innovating in a desperate effort to catch Glock.
I mean, yeah, it's very hard to compete with a Glock, and I don't see what they're saying, that it was a step behind. I mean, when this thing is firing when you drop it, I mean, there's no way you can kind of compare that already. And I mean, you just look at this thing and it goes out of battery. Again, there's just been so many weird quirks that have either just completely deadlined these pistols so you can't use them, or just make it so it's like super unreliable, and then people just don't have a whole lot of confidence in it.
Glock's pistols were at first attacked for being plastic guns. Some worried they weren't durable enough to hold up, and others feared airport metal detectors wouldn't pick them up. Both
also
were
plastic.
unfounded worries. But
okay, this is like very old kind of mindset. Yeah, when Glocks originally came out, that was a weird concern. But again, as it pertains to this Sig Sauer pistol, yeah, it's also polymer.
Glock quickly became known as a pistol that didn't quit. It also uses a metal barrel and more to set off metal detectors. Glock still commands a lot of use.
Okay, this is such weird phrasing. It's not the intended purpose to set off a metal detector. It's obviously you don't want to shoot a gun through a plastic barrel.
Their loyalty and contracts with police departments.
But okay, yeah,
However,
we'll set off a
this
metal
selection
detector.
by the U.S. Army of the Sig P320 will likely mean more police departments will give it a look, and many more American gun owners will as well. Any gun that can pass the rigorous tests from the U.S. Army to win the top spot is a well-vetted firearm.
Someone needs to teach that guy how to hold a pistol.
Also represents a few leaps
and fix his
forward
chin
in
strap.
pistol design. The P320 is a polymer, striker-fired pistol that Sig first started selling in 2014. The P320 is the first modular pistol that someone can easily modify with interchangeable grip modules.
So I've seen this happen a couple times, but again, most units won't put in the effort to actually switch out the frame for one that's a little bit more appropriate for someone's hands or what have you. Now you do have the ability to also flip around the magazine release. Very simple. Again, a lot of people don't know how to do it, so they probably won't. So they'll probably just have a couple pistols that are just designated as left-handed pistols, and they'll just leave it like that. But yeah, it is modular. Again, it's just the issue is that you have to actually use these features to call them any sort of pro. With a Glock, again, yeah, you can do a lot of the same things. Again, it's cool that you can take out the fire control unit, but again, it really depends on if people actually want to do that or not, or are even trained to do that.
Caliber can even be changed. All pistols made for the U.S. military will be configurable to receive silencers and include both standard and extended capacity magazines. These pistols will be made.
Okay, so it doesn't have a threaded barrel, so the suppressor is not going to happen. And nobody's going to put a suppressor on a pistol anyway. I mean, it's not like the Mark 23 days. It also doesn't have suppressor height sights. So, yeah, there's that.
These pistols will be made at Sig Sauer's facilities in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
John
What
Dorsey,
happens there?
Vice President of Glock Incorporated, said that Glock maintains that the Army's selection of Sig Sauer was based on incomplete testing, and that Sig Sauer's bid was $102 million lower than Glock's.
Dude, that is a lot lower.
This is not about Glock. This is not about Sig, and it's not about the U.S. Army. Dorsey, a retired Marine, told Military.com, it's about those that are on the ground in harm's way.
Dude, exactly. Dude, well said. They know what they're talking about.
The importance of a pistol, which doesn't sound like much unless you realize that if you pull a pistol in combat, you are in deep.
Yeah, you're going to be using that thing.
Dorsey maintains that the Army selected Sig Sauer as the winner of the MHS competition without conducting the heavy endurance testing common in military and federal small arms competitions. According to the GAO's findings on August 29, 2016, the Army established a competitive range consisting of the Glock 9mm one-gun proposal and the Sig Sauer 9mm two-gun proposal. Dorsey argues that the GAO's competitive range description...
What are those gloves? Is this dude wearing gardening gloves? Interesting.
Dorsey argues that the GAO's competitive range description means both Glock's and Sig Sauer's submissions are in fact pretty much the same. However, the GAO describes Sig Sauer 320 as having lower reliability than Glock 19 on page 11, footnote 13 of its findings.
I believe it, man. And longevity-wise.
Reliability evaluation, Sig Sauer's full-sized handgun had a higher stoppage rate than Glock's handgun, and there may have been other problems with the weapon's accuracy, GAO states.
I will say it is accurate. I haven't had any issues with accuracy. But again, like the sights are just so freaking thick and bulky. Like once you're firing past 20 yards, it is like super annoying to use those things. Not like the Beretta.
To Dorsey, that says it all. When you have stuff in the GAO report that says their stoppage rate is higher than ours, that's a problem, Dorsey said.
Yeah, I would agree. Not sure how much higher,
GAO, Sig Sauer's $169.5 million bid outperformed Glock's $272.2 million bid, which made the Sig Sauer proposal the best value to the government. The Army's initial announcement of the contract award to Sig Sauer described the deal as worth up to $580 million. But
it's like all of the people who are using this, your lives are not worth the extra 100 million or so that it would cost to get the Glock.
The reason for the discrepancy needs to be clarified. So one of the least important factors, as they said in the RFP, would be the price. That is what became the most important factor, Dorsey said. So let's think about that for a minute. You are going to go forward with making that decision now without completing the test on the two candidate systems that are in the competitive range? Does that make sense if it's your son or daughter sitting in that foxhole somewhere?
Damn. Shots fired for real,
Glock
dude.
also argued that the Army's testing only went up to 12,500 rounds, when the service life of the selected pistol is specified to be 25,000 rounds, according to Glock's legal argument to GAO.
I mean, Glock, yeah, they have a strong argument. So what happened with that?
We're not asking them to overturn SIG, Dorsey said. All we ask is for them to continue to test, so that the Army can be ensured that it has the best material solution for its soldiers. Make it fair, full, and open. Transparent, and let's see where the chips fall.
Yo, respect for Glock, man.
Fundamentally, Glock is going to continue to do what we always do. It's never over for us. It's always on those that go into harm's way. And as long as they are in harm's way, we will continue to knock on doors and offer the best material solution to the handgun requirement because, in my heart, I believe we do have the best material solution.
Damn. I mean, yeah, it's true. When you look at any sort of special forces, see how many of them are using the Sig M17 or M18 over a Glock or you know, just something else. Yeah, probably not going to be too many, if I'm being honest. Yeah, so the comments from Glock were definitely interesting. There was a lot of stuff in this video that's a little weird or just incorrect. But yeah, again, having used the M18, I've qualified with this thing, I don't know, maybe like 10 times at this point or more. Yeah, probably more, maybe like 15 or 20 times actually. So I have used this thing quite a bit. I have definitely put thousands of rounds through the M18. And yeah, again, this one's great. I mean, it really hasn't had any issues. Again, there are still some weird things like the sights I'm not, a huge fan of, but I will say my civilian M18 has treated me much, much better than any M18 I have used or just seen in the military. Because, yeah, I mean, they're just falling apart. I mean, we have a bunch of M18s in our unit, and yeah, a lot of them are just down. I would say most of them have been down at some point for just very, very weird issues that I've never seen with the Beretta. I mean, with the Beretta, you would shoot this thing until the freaking locking block broke. And that was after like tens of thousands of rounds. Like these things, yeah, a lot of people didn't like them because they're heavy or whatever, big. But these things freaking lasted, and they did a great job while they were doing all of that too. So, yeah, I don't know. Of course, with these kinds of weird contract things, again, it's always going to go to the lowest bidder. When they're undercutting Glock that much, I mean, it was just like, okay, yeah, sweet. Let's do a little drug deal here, and now you guys get these pistols for super cheap, and we get some money out of it, especially in the long run. Now we have the contracted Army pistol. So yeah, that comes with a lot of other things as well. So yeah, it's kind of a shame because again, there were so many other options. And when you talk about the Glock, again, it's just a better option pretty much all around than the M18, M17, especially with the execution. I think they just did it very, very poorly. And from what I've seen, yeah, just not the best move. So if you guys have used the M17 or the M18, let me know how it was. Let me know if you've seen any crazy issues. If they're, kind of rocking in your units, then sweet. Maybe the quality control is just weird with ours. We just got like a bad batch or something. But yeah, I've been in a couple of different units that have the M18, and they've always had some weird quirks to them, yeah, reliability wise, which is not cool. So let me know your experiences personally with the M17, M18, and it'd be cool to kind of compare those with my own. But yeah, interesting video, at least to kind of open up the topic for discussion. But yeah, not necessarily the best video, I'll be honest about that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think, especially just with the decision, especially with the issues that a lot of people have identified. Let me know your thoughts as far as how it pertains to actually providing these for people who need to rely on them. But that is it for this video. I'll see you all in the next one.